So, hey everybody, this is me Raman. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please go and subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell icon to get more updates. So, in this video, I have brought another set of coincidences which are creepy. So, let's go and watch fully about it. So, thanks for coming. Let's start the list. So, Violet Constance Jessop was an ocean liner stewardess and nurse in the early 19th century who is known for surviving the disastrous sinkings of both the RMS Titanic and her sister ship HMHS Britannic in 1912 and 1916, respectively. In addition, she had been on board the RMS Olympic, the eldest of the three sister ships, when it collided with a British warship in 1911. She is popularly known as Miss Unsinkable. Yes, it's a good name for her. And the next is the three mysterious monks. In the 19th century, there was a renowned but unhappy Australian portrait artist by the name of Joseph Matthias Agner, who attempted suicide several times. At first, he attempted at his young age of 18 when he tried to hang himself but was somehow interrupted by a Chapkin monk mysteriously appeared there. At the age of 22, he tried the same thing for the second time, but once again he was saved by the very same monk. 8 years later, his death was ordained by the way of others who sentenced him to gallows for his political activities. Now again, his life was saved by intervention of the same monk. At the age of 68, Agner finally succeeded in the suicide, a pistol doing the trick. And the surprising thing is that his funeral ceremony was also conducted by the same Capuchin monk, a man whose name Agner never even knew, which is a coincidence. So the next is the case of Finnish twins. This one isn't a well-known case, but it really should be. In 2002, two 70-year-old Finnish twin brothers were killed by trucks while riding bicycles in a snowstorm. Here is a weird part. They died in a separate accidents on the same road, only about a mile apart. It gets weirder. The second twin was killed about 2 hours after the first, before he had even learned of his twin's death. And the story of King Umberto. This creepy coincidence has a bone chilling storyline. On July 28, 1900, King Umberto I of Italy decided to go out to dinner that night and went to a small restaurant in Monza. During his time there, the owner took the king's order and was ironically called Umberto as well. As the order was being taken, the king and the owner slowly realized that the two of them were apparent virtual doubles. As the night went on, both men sat down with one another and soon discovered they had more similarities than differences. For starters, both of these men were married on the same day, which was March 14th, 1844, and happened to have their weddings in the same town named Turin. This tale of creepy coincidence runs deeper as they discovered that they both married a woman named Margareta and that the restaurant had opened the same day Umberto became the king. After a self discovering night for the two Umbertos, the king sadly discovered that the restaurant owner had tragically died in what some called a mysterious shooting. The king then expressed his regret to a crowd, and this is where an anarchist, the group rose from the crowd and assassinated the king. Even this is coinciding. So let's go to the next in my list. So the bullet that found its mark after 20 years. In 1893, a man named Henry Ziegland from Honeygrove, Texas, jilted his sweetheart, who killed herself afterwards. Her brother tried to avenge her by shooting Ziegland, but the bullet only grazed his face and buried itself in a tree. The brother, thinking he had killed Zegland, committed suicide at once. In 1913, Zegland was cutting down the tree with the bullet in it. It was a tough job, so he used dynamite, and explosion sent the old bullet through the Zegland's head, killing him. However, many say it's a hoax since there's no evidence to prove that any person by the name of Henry Ziegland ever lived in Texas. So the next is the twin brothers tragedy in Bermuda. In July 1975, a 17-year-old boy named Erskine Lawrence Ebin was knocked off his mocked and killed by a taxi in Hamilton, Bermuda. Ebin's 17-year-old brother Neville had also died on the same street in the same way while riding the same moped in July the previous year. To everyone's surprise, it was soon discovered that the same exact taxi driver who had killed two brothers was also carrying the exact same passenger during that time, which is a coincidence. So let's go to the next. So guys, the next coincidence is my favorite. So hope you like it, and please do comment me down below which is your favorite coincidence. So the Tamerlane storm. Tamerlane was a famous Turco-Mongol conqueror in the 14th century. His tomb was excavated in 1941 by Soviet scientists. What they found in it was really creepy, to say the least. A message inside the tomb read, "When I rise from the dead, the world shall tremble. Whomsoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." 2 days after the excavation, Adolf Hitler invaded Soviet Union. So the next on the list is the man who survived both atomic explosion. Yamaguchi was a resident of Nagasaki who was in Hiroshima on a business for his employer Mitsubishi Heavy Industries when the city was bombed at 8:15 a.m. on August 6, 1945. He returned to Nagasaki the following day, and despite his radiation wounds, he returned to work on August 9. It was the day when the second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, and Yamaguchi managed to survive that too. And he died of stomach cancer on January 4, 2010, at the age of 93.